He's going to back up and shoot a 17-footer. Nursing the one-point advantage. Oh! They steal it all the way. Not a Hunter. Back to Young for the lead. For the lead. With 6. With 5. With 4. LeBron. No, and the Lakers are going to lose.
Are you guys ready to have a serious conversation that I know you guys do not want to have? If it's not obvious by the title and thumbnail, and if it's not obvious by the intro, this man LeBron James is the reason the Lakers are starting to fail. Now I know some of you are going to see the title and you're going to click on the video and you're going to hear what I just said, and you're going to think that this is clickbait and that I'm lying to you guys. But I mean it when I say LeBron is the problem. LeBron is the reason all of this is happening. Now I know about a week ago there was this trend of people, they were talking about LeBron and his struggles, saying that statistically he's starting to fall off. And that is 100% fair to say. But in fairness to LeBron, the man is getting old. So of course his stats are starting to go down. But I'm not going to act like LeBron is not the same type of guy that can drop 30 to 40 points whenever he wants to. And mind you, he's not just chucking up shots, he's doing it pretty efficiently. Like tonight, he had 39 versus the Hawks on 14 to 25 shooting. And for those of you that don't feel like pulling out a calculator, that's a field goal percentage of 56%. And it's not just this game. Even the game before, this man had 29 points versus the Heat, and he had a field goal percentage of 67%. Now, unfortunately, the thing about LeBron this year is he's not necessarily consistent. Sure, he's a guy that can drop 30 points, but he also is a guy that can drop you like 10 to 15 this year. But his stats aren't even the biggest problem. The biggest problem with me is the way this team is constructed. It is the reason they're doing so bad this year. There are honestly two different scapegoats that people are using for the Lakers. They're either A, using JJ Redick / the coaching, or B, and this one is kind of starting to pop up, they're talking about the roster. Now I want to start with coaching because I feel like this is the easiest thing to address and it's not going to take that long. I am not surprised that people are already starting to turn on JJ Redick. This is just what Lakers fans are. This is just what they do. Now me personally, I think JJ Redick is doing a solid job. For what it's worth, I think he's great at talking to the players. He knows the X's and O's, and LA does kind of look better from last year. But let's do a hypothetical. Let's just say that JJ Redick is the worst coach in the NBA. It's not true, but let's just make the argument. How did JJ Redick get the head coaching job of the Los Angeles Lakers? Mind you, this is his first ever coaching job in the NBA. This man has never coached the NBA, yet he's the coach of the Lakers already. Coaching the Lakers is like coaching the Cowboys. It sounds cool on paper, except the team is actually fucking terrible. But all jokes aside, do we know why he was hired? Well, it's obvious. It was because of LeBron. I honestly believe that Mind the Game podcast was nothing more than a tryout for the Lakers coaching job, which is kind of unfortunate because I enjoyed the podcast. Sure, it was short-lived and didn't even have 10 episodes, but I thought it was a very insightful way of talking about basketball. But again, I think it was something that LeBron was using to kind of test JJ Redick. I mean, is it a surprise that as soon as JJ becomes the head coach of the Lakers, they stop shooting episodes? From a recording standpoint, the podcast would have been way easier to record. I also do think there was a part of LeBron that thought maybe he could have complete control of the team. Like he saw JJ Redick as this new head coach and he's like, oh, I can make all these different moves and no one's gonna say anything. I mean, it's already a joke that LeBron James is the GM, a player, a coach, which funny enough, that's actually what I want to talk about next, because you cannot blame a head coach for a terribly constructed roster. And do you want to know who had a big influence on constructing this roster? Oh yeah, it was LeBron. Now when it comes to breaking down the roster, I'm not going to talk about LeBron or AD as players, because obviously these two are very good. I know LeBron had his struggles, but again, he's still a great player, and Anthony Davis is up for MVP this year. If there was a game that perfectly represented the season so far, I think it was tonight's game, Hawks versus Lakers. I'm pretty sure I showed it in the intro, but the Hawks won 134 to 132 off a Trae Young game winner. But you know what? It's fine. These things happen. I mean, it's not like they're on a 3-game losing streak. But anyways, I want you guys to look at the box score. LeBron had 39, 10, and 11. Again, not really surprising. Anthony Davis had 38, 10, and 8. Again, not surprising. Rookie Dalton Connect had an okay game, had 14 points, 6 of 11 shooting, not bad for him. Rui Hachimura had 12 points on really good shooting, 5 of 6 from the field, which is what he's averaging this season, so not bad from our boy Rui. And there was one thing that honestly surprised me and I thought I would never see, but Gabe Vincent had his season high in points with 12 points. Yeah, I can promise you guys that's never going to happen again. Oh, and of course, Max Christie had 9 points, which is pretty normal to what he usually does. And that's pretty much it. Everyone else was absolutely trash. This man Cam Reddish had 0 points. D'Angelo D'Angelo Russell, sure he had 8 points, but it was on terrible shooting and a couple of turnovers. If I'm being real with you guys, there are only 3 different players on the Lakers, not named LeBron or AD, that I actually think benefit to this team. Number 1, I think is Austin Reeves, but I think most of you would agree with that. I don't like his style of play, but the fact of the matter is he does put up results. I think Dalton Connect is a great role player, he's a great shooter, and he does everything that LA needs. And funny enough, I think Rui Hachimura, and I say it's funny because that man did not get a lot of playing time last year because of Darvin Ham. So you mean to tell me a new head coach comes in and Rui is all of a sudden getting valuable minutes and is playing well? Man, it's almost like JJ Redick is actually a good coach. Now, like I said though, there's only 3 players that I think actually benefit something to this team. So what about the rest of the guys? I'm sick. If you can't tell, my voice is very off because I've been sick for the past week, so I'm gonna try to do this very fast. If you guys are enjoying the video, leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. We're about 600 subscribers away, but nevertheless, we're still going for it, man. Usually, I post raw, unfiltered NBA content about 3 times a week. I know the past 5 days haven't been a good example of that, but again, I've been sick, y'all. I could barely talk, man. Honestly, I don't think there's anything to say. If there is, then I'll say it in the comment section, but yeah, let's get back to the video. If I've said it once on this channel, I've probably said it 1,000 times. D'Angelo Russell on the Lakers is not a good idea. It wasn't a good idea back in 2015, and it's not a good idea 10 years later. He shoots very inefficiently and he's a turnover machine. If I'm LA, I would want to get rid of this man as soon as possible, but to be honest, they don't have a point guard, so they're not going to do that. But Cam Reddish is just doing cardio out there. This man does nothing for LA. I don't know why everyone was so hyped up when they got him. I like the potential of Max Christie. Unfortunately, I just think he's on the wrong team. And if you want to talk about cardio, don't even get me started on Gabe Vincent. I don't care about tonight. This man has been trashed the entire season. You can't change my mind. If it wasn't for Yusuf Nurkic, he'd be up there for the worst player in the NBA. Or should that title go to Jackson Hayes? Yeah, I know he's injured, but I really could not care less because the only thing this man is actually good at is beating his... I'm probably gonna have to cut that out, but go f yourself, Jackson Hayes, respectfully. I know there were people that were hyped up about Jared Vanderbilt, but this man hasn't played basketball in 10 months. I'd bring up Bronny James, but I'm pretty sure if I even said his name, people are gonna think I'm making a joke. So in conclusion, this team is consisted of LeBron James and Anthony Davis, while also having guys like Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, and Dalton Connect as some decent role players, but everyone else is either trash or injured. Now you might be asking, how is this LeBron's fault? Well, first off, if it's not obvious, LeBron obviously has an impact on how this team is constructed, and the reason I say that is because I know back in 2021 when the Lakers got Westbrook, it was because of LeBron, and ever since then they've just kept restructuring the roster by getting rid of their good role players and trying to capitalize, but they never can. Like I said, it's gotten to the point where they have 5 competent players on this team and the rest of them are garbage. You are not going to be a good NBA team if you're built like that. If you are a Lakers fan, let me spoil this season for you. You guys are going to accomplish nothing and your team is going to not even make the play-in. I mean, you got this man LeBron saying, I'm just happy to still be able to play the game that I love. I think it's starting to hit him that LA is never going to accomplish anything for the rest of his life. And do I want to feel bad about this Lakers team and them doing bad and oh my god, LeBron's career is almost over? Well, if LeBron was on any other team, maybe. But because it's the Lakers, absolutely not.